Finally, the phone I've been waiting to get my hands on all year, the Vivo X Fold 3. Now, this is not the Pro. This is just the Vivo X Fold 3 because there is a Pro model. And, you know, I know this for a fact. Every time I've went, online, on YouTube to check out, different videos on this device, it's like everybody gets the Pro. They just forget about the non-Pro. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not that much of a difference between the Pro and this one is definitely hundreds of dollars less. Okay, there's like the change is like it's a little bit thicker, a little heavier, bigger battery, a little more storage, a little more charging speed. You got the in-display fingerprint sensor on that one. The cameras are just slightly a little more. So it's not a whole lot. And of course, the latest chip. But that's about it. I mean, it's not a whole lot different than this. But finally, today I'm going to give my first impressions of the Vivo X Fold 3. Now, like I said, this is the device I've been waiting to get my hands on all year. Okay. Of course, y'all already know, I got, the Z Fold 4. That's, Samsung Fold. The 5 and the 4 and the 5 is pretty much the same. 6 is just a little bit, larger with the outer display. But I'm just done with Samsung. I mean, not done with them, but I'm just done with some of their products because it's just like I'm just not that impressed. Now, I will admit this right now that Samsung does have the best software when it comes to foldables. I will give them that. But that's not to say that the software on here is bad, because it's not. Okay. But let's get into this really quick. I'm going to try to make this video quick. Okay. This is not a review. This is just my first impressions. But I've had this device now for a couple of weeks now, and time just didn't permit me to get this video out sooner. Just a lot of things been going on. Just been so busy and really tired. But, I finally got some time. I want to do this video. All right. So this was released in April of this year. Okay. So this phone is not even a year old. All right. Now, when it comes to the build quality, now first, I'm getting ahead of myself. Now this is the phone right here, but let me show you. Now you can see by the thickness of the box and the way the box look, it's already, what's going to be inside the box. And this, just looking at this alone, is better than what Samsung gives you. Just the look of this box in the front is a better presentation than what Samsung provides. Look at that. Just nice quality box. And I know some of you out there don't really care about this stuff, but I care about it. It matters to me. Now, the last unboxing I had, which was great, was the Vivo X Note. That one pulled out like a drawer. I thought that was just so cool. I wish they had did that for this one, but they didn't. But, it's okay. It's still good, nice quality box. Look, you should not throw a box like this away. You should not. Because you never know. You may want to sell it one day, or, if you're packing it and you want to pack it back up in the original box, you don't throw a quality box like this away. You just don't do it. I wouldn't do it. But I already took the phone out, and, I'm not doing no big time unboxing thing because it's not necessary. See that right there? Something that Samsung, Apple, Google, sometimes Xiaomi. I haven't had a Xiaomi phone that don't give you a thing. Sony, nothing. Like all of these companies will not give you a power brick, which it makes absolutely no sense. They just give you the charging cable. Now, what good is a charging cable if you don't have, the power charger to actually charge a device? Like, that's just stupid. So this is already a nicer presentation than you get from all those other guys, and they want to charge you all these outrageous prices and they don't put nothing in the box at all. Nothing. So you already know what's in here. You get a nice quality case. Now I'm telling you right now, this thing feels so good. I mean, it feels luxurious. It's just soft, no fingerprints. The only issue I have now, it does cover the hinge, but the only problem I have, it doesn't cover the front at all. I wish Vivo had at least given you like that outer little piece that you could put on the front to give your, display a little bit of protection. But besides that, it's still, at least they still give you a case. Okay. And it's a quality case. Trust me, it feels really, really good. But of course, I had to swap it out with, a different case because I was worried about, the front of my display getting damaged. I don't want it to get damaged, so I need to protect it. You get your Vivo X Fold 3 card of authenticity, which is nice. Of course, you get your little SIM ejection tool, and then you just got some, that's really all it's in. There's no paperwork in here. So we're just gonna put this back in here. All right. Put this back in there because I'm not gonna be using that case because I got a better case than that. Close this up. So, and I meant to say, and I forgot to say this because I'm just so excited. The charger is 80 watts. Okay. 80-watt charger. Unlike Samsung, they give you only a 25-watt charger for a phone that costs $2,000, which I think is insane. Okay. Just insane. All right. So let's get to the device. Now, as you can see, it has a nice design. You got your 3 cameras on the back. You got the Zeiss optics. So you got really good cameras on here. You got a nice build. You got a carbon fiber hinge, aluminum alloy all the way around, glass on the front. It also comes with a screen protector on the front, which is nice. And you can already see now how big this front display is. I mean, it's huge. Now, compare that to Samsung's. You could clearly see the difference. Okay. Now, I know there's some people out there that really like how narrow this front is, and that's okay. I'm not saying you're wrong because you like this narrow display. You like what you like. But I like the fact that this is so much bigger, so much larger, and I literally do not have to open up this phone. This phone, I can use this phone like a regular candy bar style phone because that's how big this display is. So you can actually see the difference. It's clear. Okay. So I've been excited about this device for a while now. So let's get into some of the specs of this device. All right. So I already talked about the build. It has a great build. And you know what? Now the thing that I don't really care for that much is that the phone is very, very thin. I mean, I don't really like thin devices, honestly. I mean, with it closed, it doesn't feel thin. But when you open it, I mean, it's really, really thin. I mean, look at that. That is really thin. I think it's a 219 grams. It's a very, very thin device. And I'm not the biggest fan of thin devices, but this is why they make cases. Like when I slap the case on, it makes the phone bigger and feel thicker and, a little heavier. And that's what I like. I don't like thin, light phones. I just don't. All right. With the display, you're getting a 6.5-inch AMOLED display, 120 hertz refresh rate, HDR10 plus, Dolby Vision, 4,500 nits peak brightness. I'll say again, 4,500 nits peak brightness. This thing gets crazy bright. Now, with the main display, inside display, you're getting an 8.3-inch LTPO AMOLED display, also with 120 hertz HDR10 plus, Dolby Vision, and also 4,500 nits peak brightness. So you're getting 4,000 nits peak brightness on the cover display and the main display. And you're getting 120 hertz on both displays, which is good. And you're also getting HDR10 plus and Dolby Vision on both displays. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Now with the operating system, of course, this still has Android 14, but it will get Android 15 whenever that's released. It's using Origin OS 4. The chipset is Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. Now this is using last year's chipset. But let me tell you right now, it's irrelevant. It's just irrelevant because this phone is fast, smooth, and fluent. And I will tell you about the battery life when I get to it, but the chip is fine. You don't need the Generation 3 chip. You just don't. Not on this device. You just don't. Now, with internal storage, you're getting 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage. That's the base. Okay, so 12 gigs, 256 is the base. Now, this thing comes with dual stereo speakers with Snapdragon sound and a 24-bit high-res audio. You're getting Wi-Fi 7. And when it comes to the battery, you're getting listen to the battery capacity of this, y'all. Think about what Samsung gives you and think about what I'm about to tell you about the size of this battery. 5,500 milliamp hours. You're only getting 4,400 milliamp hours with your Samsung. 5,500 milliamp hour battery, and this thing is super thin and super light. So why Samsung refuses to put a larger battery in their devices is beyond me. I just don't get it. But I think they're flat out cheating the consumer because they should have been put a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in there minimum. But we're gonna of course, we're gonna do a comparison between this and the Z Fold 4. There's no question about that. All right, now, like I said before, when I opened up the box, 80-watt wired charging. Okay, 0 to 100%, 30 minutes. Unlike Samsung, take you over an hour. Wireless charging, 50 watts. 50 watts. Samsung only giving you 15. It's a joke. 50 watts. Now, no reverse wireless charging on this one, but you do get reverse wireless charging on the Pro. But, that's not that big of a deal, honestly, because I've rarely used the reverse wireless charging. Would have been nice to have it, but, it's not a big deal. Just want to let y'all know that. Now, this does have IP4 splash resistance. It doesn't have the water resistance that, the Z Fold 4 has. And, of course, I'll mention all that when I do the comparison. And it doesn't have any dust resistance, but it does have splash resistance. Okay, you also get face unlock. You got that alert slider on this side right here. Got the alert slider right there. You're getting the IR blaster, which I love that. Yes, that universal remote control. You're getting that on this device. Yeah, Bluetooth 5.3, NFC, so you can make payments on this. And with the cameras, you got the Zeiss optics, which I mentioned earlier. Now listen to these specs, and I know specs is not everything, but just trust me when I tell you the specs and the quality and all that is backed up on this device for sure. Because I've already taken a bunch of photos with this device, and of course, when I do my full review, I'll show them to you. You're getting a 50 megapixel wide with optical image stabilization, a 50 megapixel telephoto with 2x optical zoom, and a 50 megapixel ultra wide. So 50, 50, and 50. Okay, all three of these lenses are 50 megapixels. Now, with the video recording, you can record at 8K at 30 frames per second, at 4K at 60, and 1080p at 60. Now, with the front-facing camera, the one on the inside of the device, which is in the corner up here, in the corner right there, which I like it because you're going to get better quality because it's not under the display like your Samsung's, and the quality on that is not good. But you're going to get a 32 megapixel wide, and on the cover display, you're also getting a 32 megapixel wide, and both shoot at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now that's one of the things that's disappointing, that the cover display, the main display, they don't shoot at 4K at 60 or not even 4K at 30. That's disappointing. And not even 1080p at 60. But, I don't shoot a bunch of videos, so that's not a really big deal to me. And the 1080p at 30 looks great. Okay, and the 1080p at 60 with the rear cameras and the 4K at 60 looks great too. All right, so that's all the specs. So we got all that stuff out of the way. Now, let me just say this, because like I said, I didn't want this to be too long. Let me just mention this about the battery. For the last 2 weeks that I've had this device, I'm getting 2 full days of battery life. That's with moderate to heavy usage. That's the always on display on all the time, and 100% brightness. Now look at this big giant 8-inch display. This thing is huge. It's super bright. It's vivid. It's smooth. I'm telling you, whew, it's smooth just like the OnePlus. Just like the OnePlus. It's fast and just very, very smooth. As you can see how it goes in and out of apps. Very fast, very, very smooth. Love this. And like I said, I prefer something a little thicker. It's really thin, but for those of you that want a thinner foldable device, and you don't want a heavy device, then this might be the one for you. And this thing costs half the price of your Z Fold 6. The Z Fold 6 is like basically $2,000. This is half that. Half that. Okay. You can there's no bezels. You can't see any bezels on this device. It's all screen. I mean, this thing is just, look, I can't wait to do my full review. Now, this is the Chinese ROM. Now, they do have the global one. That's going to cost you a lot more money. Now, I got this from Giztop. I'll put that down in the description. Got it from Giztop. But I love this device already. The cameras, the battery life, the performance, the brightness. Man, loving it. Now, I wouldn't have mind having the global ROM, but I mean, I just wasn't willing to pay the money they wanted for it, because the Chinese ROM is not a big deal to me, honestly. And there's a lot of apps and stuff in here you could delete. This does work on AT&T. Now, I'm not getting 5G. I'm getting 4G, which is fine. Not a big deal for me. Everything runs like it always runs. Not a big deal. And it also works with T-Mobile. I don't know about Verizon because I don't have Verizon, but I know it works AT&T and it works T-Mobile for a fact. So I haven't had any issues with connectivity. None whatsoever. It works in the car fine with my Bluetooth. Everything with this phone works really great. The only thing about, there's like a little bit of a learning curve because this phone is set up so different from that of my Z Fold 6. It's just set up really, really different. Let me show you what I mean. Now you saw that long delay. I hate that. Like, that is so annoying. I don't know why this phone does that. When I open this thing up, there's like this 3-4 second delay. Like, oh, you don't get none of that with the Vivo. Like, I'll just show you again. Turn it on. I open it up. Automatic. You saw how fast that came on? And this joker is just inconsistent. It just does that. I go to open it up. And sometime it does it, sometime it don't, but it does it more times than not where there's a delay. But anyway, as you can see the setup here, how everything is just the whole display. There's not like two halves like this is. Like, you got stuff on this side, stuff on that side. And I'll show you, like, when you go to here, you see everything left, right, left, right. I'm just not the biggest fan of that. I just prefer just one display. See, I got my scripture here. I got my full calendar here. I got my, Flipboard here. I got other, widgets and stuff here like this. This is the way I like it. Have my stuff set up like this. This is just the way I prefer. This is what I'm used to. That's why I really like the Samsung software better. It's a little, learning curve with this, but you get used to it. If you really want it, you get used to it. But this is the way I prefer it. Now, I tried to use Nova Launcher on it, but this thing, it rejects Nova Launcher. It just, you get it set up the way you want, and it automatically boots you back to Origin. I don't like that. So they basically will not allow you to use Nova on a regular basis. It'll just keep coming back to Origin. I don't like that. I don't know what it is with these Chinese phones. They just won't let you use Nova. Like, I tried it on my Mi 11 Ultra, and it did the same thing. It just kept pushing me back to the the Mi software, or now it's Hyper OS, and I didn't like that. But like I said, it's just a little learning curve, not a big deal. You can already see, if you look at it closely, that the Vivo is definitely brighter than the Samsung. It's just brighter, and you can see that the display is just bigger. It's taller and it's wider. But like I said, this thing, the Z Fold has a lot of things going for it that the Vivo don't have. The Vivo have things going for it that the Z Fold don't have. So, like I said, I'll be doing a comparison with that, definitely. But I'm just telling you right now, I absolutely love this device. I love how big this cover display is. Speakers on it so far are nice, but the build quality is great. But let me I'm gonna put this case on so y'all can see. I bought this clear case. It has a kickstand, and I'll leave the name of it in the description. Just got this. I think it was Sunday. It came in, and I was like real excited about it because I prefer cases to keep my phone safe. And look, it comes with a screen protector. The whole thing is a screen protector, so I don't have to worry about my screen getting damaged at all. Very easy to put on. Everything just snaps into place. And this makes the device feel even bigger, wider, give it some more weight. I love that. That's what I prefer. And it has a built-in kickstand too. Okay? It has a kickstand as well. So I'll definitely put this down in the description. But I like this case. I bought a black one too that had a cover thing, and it had a little digital thing, but it won't stay lit. So the thing keeps going out. I don't know what the purpose is. So I decided to go with this one because I like the fact that it has that screen protector, so I don't have to worry about any scratches, any damage, nothing, because it's completely covered. It's touch sensitive. It works fine. I don't have any problems, with opening, with the function of it. It's very sensitive. No problems at all. Yeah, no problems at all. I get all my notifications, everything in real time. Look, I know I'm sorry this ran longer than I said it would, but I really like this device a lot, and I can't wait to do my full review on it. But thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. I hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying well. This was just my first impressions of the Vivo X Fold 3. Check you guys out in the next one. Peace.